What a shambles already. Oh dear. Well, hello and welcome to this Tuesday's Movie News. I am Jonathan, here to speak about all of the happenings in the world of Hollywood, the world of movies, and in one particular topic's case, the world of TV, and one J.R.R. Tolkien. But I'm here to discuss, first and foremost, a little known movie coming out at the beginning of 2023, I believe February. I do have the entire what's to come slate, I think getting up to like 2024 for Marvel, because the actual topic, the headline of this show tonight is, could Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania be a game changer for the MCU? Now I actually wanted to say game changer for the MCU Phase 5, because of course at this very moment things aren't doing too well for the MCU for Marvel. They're not quite at the level of stupendous brilliance they once were when Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and a young fresh-faced Natasha Romanoff and Thor was all stuffy and Shakespearean. When those guys were doing their thing at the beginning of the Infinity Saga, this universe was in a much better place. The movies were in a much better place. The consistency of artistic excellence, technical excellence was in a much better place. I seen a video the other day comparing CG from the early MCU movies to the CG we are seeing in current day TV and movies. These are expensive projects, these TV shows that are on Disney Plus, and the quality, the drop off, not just in the CGI but in the actual set piecing, is noticeable. So we have seen a reduction in quality, which is probably to be expected when you actually factor in that they are doing a whole lot more with the fucking time. They're churning out 8, 9, 10 projects in a calendar year now, maybe more than that, whereas 10 years ago it was 2, 1 at a push. Sometimes started off 1 a year, went up to 2, then 3. So they're doing a lot more now in terms of projects. They're churning out a lot more things in general, and the quality I feel has dropped off, and I think you can start to see that having a great effect on the actual film going audiences. These movies aren't quite connecting with the Marvel fan base, and probably the greater fan base who would want to go and watch a movie like this in the way they were 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. And that's a big fucking problem for Kevin Feige. It's a big problem for Marvel and for Disney, because they are putting a huge amount of money into this content. These aren't cheap TV shows that are going out. They're $100 million, $80 million TV shows. The movies are costing every bit as much as they did before, probably fucking more now because of the cost of living crisis. So they need something to jolt this universe, this new era of storytelling, this multiversal saga into fucking life, like that Jason Statham movie where he had to be jolted with electricity sort of every hour on the hour to keep his heart ticking. It was a terrible fucking movie, but that's really where the MCU is just now for me. I've personally enjoyed some of it. I watched Doctor Strange fairly recently. I actually didn't go and see it in the theatre. I didn't think it was terrible, but it just, again, I'm going to get into it, it's a sort of theme of the current day MCU whereby the stakes aren't what they were. The interconnectivity is actually reduced for me in the movies. They're all standalone, self-contained experiences. We're not really doing enough expanding out. You're introducing, like Reed Richards, you're introducing different versions of characters. There's lots of callback to fan sort of moments. You're getting Charles Xavier in there, for instance. But they're not quite doing what they did 10 years ago, where you'd see a Nick Fury popping in an end credits. You'd see them actively connecting the dots, and there was a greater sort of lurking threat. We're not really getting that in the movies. We've actually explored that more on TV with Loki and Kang. Kang is yet to actually make an appearance, I believe anyway, that I'm aware of, in the actual movies in this universe. And that's why I'm asking the question, can Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and the Wasp, Quantumania, be a game changer for the MCU? This is the article I'm using. I was actually reading through this article, and it was like an aha moment, a eureka moment for me, as they actually explored and sort of detailed where this movie could go with the quantum realm. Trippy visuals, tardigrades in a city, the city being actually potentially Kang's city. They explored how they could use this quantum realm, and it came to me like the hit to the head came to Liam Gallagher and gave us an incredible frontman in music all those years ago. The notion of what we could be doing in this movie. This is a big ensemble movie, a lot of big hitters in here. Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas, Evangelina Lilly, you've got Paul Rudd in there, you've got Jonathan Majors coming in as the big bad Kang the Conqueror. We do know we're getting multiple variants of this character, so this may not be the guy the Avengers ultimately come up against in that double header 3, 4, 5 years down the road. But we are getting a huge villain, potentially a multi-movie spanning version of a villain popping up in this movie for the first fucking time. And also the quantum realms where it's all going to play out. And the thought that came to me was, if you cast your mind back to the second Ant-Man movie, you cast your mind back to Endgame, this guy here doesn't get enough love in the actual universe for what he did. I know it was a fucking rat that brought him out, but this guy, it was his journeying, his limbo state in the quantum realm that saved the fucking entire show, that brought half the universe back. It was this guy and his knowledge of time travelling through the quantum realm, or the possibilities, and what he then gave to the likes of Smart Hulk and Tony Stark, who came in and finished it up. It was this guy that kick-started it all, and I feel like there could be a bit of poetry in motion here. Dabbling in the quantum realm once again leads to danger, but could lead to the saviour of not only the fucking universe within these movies, but the actual saviour of the universe without, actually outside the movies as well. We could see elements explored in this that save this fucking universe, because right now it's jumping from movie to movie, TV to TV, and there's a disconnect for me. It just isn't working like it used to for me. That's not to say I'm not going to go and watch all these fucking movies. I'm not going to go and watch and consume all the TV when it comes out. But even we reacted to a fucking werewolf thing the other night. I've not put it out yet, and I'm like, that can't be the MCU. It is the MCU. There's too much going on here. We need to get back to basics, and I think this is the best fucking place to do it. Jonathan Majors comes in. He plays Kang the Conqueror. We're getting this fucking guy as well coming in, who I'd never even heard of, but he looks cool as fuck. This looks like something straight out the play piece. Is that the right terminology? I don't know. Right out the toolbox of a James Gunn. This is the type of character a James Gunn would make work. Of course, he's not actually directing the movie, but that's neither here nor there. This is the kind of thing you would see done. He's playing a villain, incidentally. This is a villainous character. This isn't some sort of jocular Rocket Raccoon type character. This guy could be a right evil little bastard popping in. I don't actually know enough about MODOK, but the reason I'm mentioning this is, again, it harkens back to big ensemble movie. Multiple villains, multiple heroes, interesting storytelling concepts being delivered through the quantum realm, and the ramifications moving forward, what it's going to do, the impact it's going to have. Bringing this guy into the universe for the very first time, obviously Kang the Conqueror. Have we actually got an image of him in this article? We fucking have not. I'll go back to me. Is it going to change? Is it going to be a game changer? Probably fucking not, because Paul Rudd's character's always been the butt of the jokes. This has always been the laughing stock. This little sub-franchise within the greater MCU. It's made the least amount of money, movie by movie. And obviously he's been belittled as a comedy character. The character within the universe is sneered at, laughed at. He's a joke. This guy's an engineer. He's a smart character who's hit lows, fallen on hard times, lost his daughter. I think he deserves to be brought back from the brink and treated with fucking seriousness, because this guy has got it within him to save not only the fucking universe within, as I says, but the universe outside. I'm just looking forward to this movie, man. I love Paul Rudd. I think he's a fucking great actor. I'm looking forward to seeing Evangelina Lilly back. I think she's inspirational and a brilliant actor outside of the actual movies themselves. You hear her speaking, you can feel the passion And just seeing the likes of Michael Douglas coming back, Hank Pym for me has been one of the better scientific figures in this. We all love Tony Stark, but there was an arrogance, a hubris about that character. You could say the same about Hank Pym in these movies, but there's something alluring about Michael Douglas and something brilliant about that character. And just the way they've utilised his technology, not only in the movies, but in Hawkeye. You see the weird and wondrous things they can do with this guy's technology in this universe. I'm so looking forward to seeing where we go here. How they handle Kang the Conqueror in this movie. How they handle MODOK. Is this going to be a guy that's got a deep, serious voice? Is he going to be a bit of a jokey villain? What they've traditionally done in the Ant-Man movies is gave us multiple levels of villains. You've had the likes of Walton Goggins playing the arsehole businessman. You've had the more emotional human condition story with a ghost. You've had the sort of, I forget his name, Jimmy Woo was it? I think that was the name of the character. It may not be the actual FBI guy. They have usually utilised multiple villains in these movies, and they've done it very well. But getting back to this, if it is indeed going to be a game changer, you have to look at the timeline, because it's all set in place. If you're going with the sort of mindset that Kevin Feige and the creative team over at Disney, Marvel know what they're fucking doing and have laid this out painstakingly in advance like they did with the Infinity Saga, well, there's nothing going to move now. It's set in stone. If they have earmarked this movie here, Quantumania, as the big game-changing one in terms of storylines, bringing your big bad villain in and Kang the Conqueror, utilising this Quantumania as the battlefield in which the multiversal stuff's going to be fought and maybe even closed up with, because I feel that there's some importance to this. This is what kick-started this whole cosmic side of the universe, bringing these characters back, the heartache, the sort of exhilaration it brought with it. It's all based off of the quantum realm, and we're now getting back there again in this movie, and it just so happens to span Kang the Conqueror. If this is going to be the one that changes it, then you look after. What's coming after? Secret Invasion. That's not really pertinent. That's not going to have an impact. I don't feel that's going to have anything that bears any resemblance, any importance to Quantumania. What if? I mean, this is a what if. This isn't going to have any impact. This is separate storylines, separate sort of timelines. What if this happened? Of course, we see T'Challa getting up and living Peter Quill's life, for instance. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, for me, this is the first movie where we could see a ripple effect from Quantumania. And it'll be so interesting to see if there is indeed a ripple effect in this movie. You could say there won't be. James Gunn has created this sort of self-contained universe, much like we've seen in Doctor Strange, much like we've seen with Black Widow. You get back to these movies at the start of this Phase 4, get into Phase 5, and you can't realistically say they are connecting to a greater story just now. They're just learning about this multiverse. They're offbeat. They're reactionary. They're not proactive. They're reacting. You think of Black Widow, that's tying up 10 years of story. It's a sort of tribute to a character in Natasha Romanoff. Try to think the other movies that have come out now, for fuck's sake. Eternals was self-contained, not connecting into a greater sort of threat. Not for me anyway. My dog's snoring. Probably Shang-Chi's, again, he's not, it's an introductory movie, it's not connecting into Kang the Conqueror, this big multiversal conflict. They've not really been doing what they did in those initial phases of this universe, building interesting, self-contained stories, but adding a layer of complexity on with the Thanos stuff, the Infinity Stones. They were hitting this home from day one. We're doing something big here that's interconnecting. We've not seen this yet. This could be a chance with Quantumania to have ripple effects on Guardians. Who are they going to be fighting? Is this going to be connected to this storyline somehow? I'd fucking love it if it was. Echo, again, this is a TV show. This is the sort of deaf character from Hawkeye. Probably not going to have an impact. Loki certainly could have a fucking impact here. This could be a way to bring Loki back in to this universe. Right now he's trapped in another universe, as far as I'm aware. This could have an impact on Loki. The Marvels, cosmic, absolutely could have an impact on the Marvels. This is all hearsay. This is me just trying to conjure up some fucking hope for these phases building into 2 Avengers movies. There has to be something jump-starting this, and the only thing I can think of is Ant-Man, because it's bringing Kang in. Ironheart's a TV show, I presume. Realistically, probably not. Blade, probably not. Agatha, could. She's kind of linked to this pocket universe, the whole fucking Scarlet Witch thing. No chance this is not going to link to it. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Daredevil, probably not. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm trying to conjure up some way of connecting to a bigger story here. And you just look at the sheer array of content they're putting out, and it's just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. Fucking zombies. Freshman animated stuff with Spider-Man. There's just not that sort of linearity. There's no real... It doesn't strike me as having any real creative conduit within here, getting us to these Avengers movies, building interest, giving us a new era of Avengers. I'm not fucking seeing it. We need something to kickstart it. I hope it's Ant-Man, because I just love the character, and he deserves respect, because he saved everyone's fucking holes in those previous two Avengers movies. It was him. Hulk may have actually initiated it by putting the thing on. It may have been a team up between him and Tony Stark going back and utilising their brains to create time travel, but it was Scott Lang who set the things in motion. So he deserves more respect. I hope it's his movie they actually kickstart things with. But moving on, I'm going to keep this one a little bit more briefer, because I do want to get this done. I want to get to the end of this show quickly, because I've got to edit Gangs of Wasseypur Part 1 reaction tonight. I've done the thumbnail, I've done all the logos. I want to edit the actual video tonight. Hello Parv, welcome in. Ryan Coogler, just speaking about Marvel, man. Marvel's a lot of Marvel stuff. My dog's having a fucking stroke in the floor, it sounds like. Just speaking about Marvel, D23 happened, Disney convention. Lots of information came out about obviously Marvel, Star Wars. Seems to be more Marvel than Star Wars, to be fair. And there's rumours afloat of potentially Ryan Coogler directing, and I'm going to bring up the actual fucking article that's pertinent to it, potentially directing the second of the two, I believe. Maybe the second, maybe the first. I don't actually know the order. Of one of the Avengers movies that's coming up. Rumours that he's reportedly in talks to helm Avengers Secret Wars. We know that your man from Shang-Chi is directing the other one. I think he is anyway. The Kang Dynasty. Potentially Ryan Coogler coming in to direct the second one. Now I think this makes fucking sense on multiple levels, because obviously a big bad villain is played by Jonathan Majors, and much like the reasons behind Stephen Caple Jr. coming in and doing Creed 2, Michael B. Jordan coming in and directing double duty Creed 3, no one can really connect with someone from that background, a minority community. And I'm not saying Kang the Conqueror came from a minority community in this universe. Perhaps he didn't. I don't actually know enough about the character, but it's possible he did. He was shaped by societal issues, and that turned him on the path that he ultimately becomes. He becomes a sort of megalomaniac, multiple timeline fucking warrior. It just makes sense to me that you bring a guy in like this to oversee that, because he's going to have that natural connection. And I fundamentally believe, moving forward in this universe, we need big authoritative figures. We need big personalities coming in to fill in the holes left by Tony Stark, left by Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, left by your Natasha Romanoff. You could have that with Elena, whatever the fuck his name is, the Florence Pugh character, the sister of Natasha. But we need big personalities in here. We need the likes of Tom Holland's Peter Parker to step up. We need the next Black Panther to be a hugely inspirational part of this Avengers, just like Chadwick Boseman's would have been if we hadn't sadly lost him way too fucking soon. And again, that connects into Coogler. He's doing Black Panther, and he's doing it hopefully very fucking well with this second one. If we can get an inspirational replacement for T'Challa, I can't think of, and this is the guy that's going to deliver, is it? I can't think of anyone better to direct those characters than that guy right there. And just the fact he's a fantastic director. I've been watching this guy's movies going all the way back to Fruitvale Station. He is a wondrous director. He knows how to get a real performance out of the cast. He's a fantastic writer. And just a great guy as well. A cool, young, brilliant guy. Brilliant mind. I'd love to see this guy taking over and getting a shot at an Avengers movie. Not going to lie, Secret Wars sounds like some Marvel knockoff porno. Listen, you search up, it's probably out there, Pav. They're all out there. Believe me, search it up. I'm not going to do it, I'll let you do it, Pav. You can report back if I'm right. I have no doubt in my mind there is someone cosplaying as some character out there, and they're getting it on. It will be out there on the Tinterweb. Everything is out there, believe me. I'm not going to explore it, but I know it's out there. But getting back to this, man, James Clement, he was on the Weekly Planet podcast, and he disclosed, the host disclosed the rumour from his source that Coogler is in the mix of potential directors to helm the 6th Avengers installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Ryan Coogler, here's another scoop, this is what he said, Mason, is at the very least one of the directors is currently in talks for Secret Wars, which makes sense, a lot of sense, and yeah, the source here says, this is a reliable source, this person says a fairly obvious choice, and it is, that makes sense. I couldn't agree anymore. Absolutely great choice to direct an Avengers movie. He's a brilliant young fucking creative figure in the industry, and just what that would do for young black directors coming up in the game, man, to see, look, this guy's directing a fucking potentially $2 billion grossing blockbuster. That would work wonders. I know we've got the likes of Jordan Peele doing wondrous things, Ryan Coogler's doing wondrous things just now, but giving a guy like that a chance to direct a movie like this, just hoping they can build to it, as I was saying before, and give us something special to hold on to going into these movies. If we could get that, it'd be brilliant. This is another reason, man, I'm speaking about it. He's directed Wakanda Forever. We got a poster coming out of the sort of prominent female figures, of course. On the right, you've got the mother of T'Challa, you've got Shuri, and you've got the Peter and Nyong'o character there as well, with the sort of aura, the spectre of T'Challa looking over them. I love this, man. I love this poster. If I could get my hands on it, it would be on the fucking wall. I'm not going to lie. I just love the sort of Wakanda Forever pose. It's brilliant, man. I'm really looking forward to this movie. This is another one that's got the potential to kick-start things in this universe, because we lost a bit of momentum when we lost Chadwick, sadly. The guy was a fucking momentous figure. Off the screen, on the screen. Just a huge personality to lose in this universe. And I fully believe this guy had a huge future. I remember watching Infinity War, and when he dusted away, I think he said something, I can't remember who he spoke to, off the top of my head I can't remember, but I remember him saying something to the words of, come now, now's not the time to be lying down, or something like that, and obviously he dusts away. I remember it taking the breath from me, watching it in the movie, because I'm like, fucking hell, I know he's not going to be dead, I know they'll find a way to bring him back, but fuck me, that's Black Panther. We've just got this guy in the movies, we've just got this huge impressionable figure, and now we've lost him. It's like, wow. And then we obviously do actually lose him a couple of years later, for real. And just the impact of that has been huge. So we need to get another Black Panther in here. I actually wasn't for it. I thought we should just move on. Maybe I don't know how we even explained it, but I don't know. But now I'm on board for it. We need to get another Black Panther. We need this figure leading, or being one of the leaders in the Avengers. And hopefully Ryan Coogler directing one of those movies, because the other guy who did Shang-Chi, I fucking love Shang-Chi. Stephen didn't like it so much. I love Shang-Chi. Thought it was a great movie, one of the best standalone MCU movies. The villainous turn by the father, a fully realised human story, tragedy in there, perfect bits of humour from Awkwafina. Simu Liu just brought the energy. I really enjoyed that movie, and that was probably down to, in large part, to not just the actors obviously bringing their A game, but the director. He got his reward. Hopefully Ryan gets his reward. Hopefully he does get to direct that fucking movie, man. And it's done well. You know what, I don't even know if I'm going to speak about this. I may even move on from this, man. I was going to say just how different will the Thunderbolts be. This was based off of this article. I don't know if I can find the energy to actually speak about this, because I'm just complete, what the fuck's happened there? Look at that. Single eye. I'm like MODOK now. I'm like the antithesis of MODOK. Big fat head. I've got a little thin head. I'm disappearing into the fucking quantum realm there. That's what happened. It was from this article. The fun way Thunderbolts is different from other MCU movies. I've asked just how different will it be. Look, I'm not going to lie, man. I didn't have my finger on the pulse fully with D23. I didn't even fucking realise this is what Thunderbolts was. I was aware of the name. I'm like, what is the Thunderbolts? It sounds like some dodgy, again, porno you'd find on the internet. Or some like fucking Power Rangers style TV show that I was fucking forced to watch in the 1990s. Some shit that the name doesn't grab you. It doesn't grab the general audience out there as well and say, look, come and watch me. It's a bit shit. But you look at the lineup, and look, to be fair, they've brought back some interesting figures. And look, this may point to exactly what I said was missing earlier. Interconnecting some of these TV shows. I presume this is going to be a movie. I presume this isn't going to be a TV show. This is going to be a fucking movie. It has to be a movie. You're bringing some of these side characters in, and you're giving them the sort of position front and centre in their own movie. A different kind of ensemble movie to what we're perhaps used to. We've not really explored this kind of thing. It's the equivalent in my mind to Suicide Squad over at DC, where you've got these anti-heroes. They're not quite heroic, they're not quite villainous. They sort of straddle this precipice of morality. Bucky being the perfect example of that. His whole fucking story in the MCU has just been morally ambiguous. This guy trying to murder people with whispered words in his ear, and then the next moment he's this brilliant guy, a friend of the ultimate good and Steve Rogers, flip-flopping all over the shop. Really interesting character. But you look at his lineup, man. You've got Ghost there. I was speaking about Ghost from Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, that is. Really brilliant villainous turn, or a human character tortured by the quantum realm, coming into this and perhaps having an interesting part to play in this. You see the different personalities here, man, as well, how they are going to bounce off each other. It's going to be interesting. Ghost doesn't strike me as a big personality, that has to be said. She did have an interesting story in that movie, but not a huge personality, not someone that's going to come out with jokes like a John Cena in the Suicide Squad, or even a David Dasmalkian, get that weird, eccentric personality. You look at Harbour, I don't know who this person is to the far left, incidentally. Probably the far right. Yeah, the person with the dark hair. I know she's maybe the setup. I don't actually know who the fuck she is, nor do I really care. David Harbour's there. He is the complete antithesis to Ghost. Huge personality. Fucking personality on steroids. Trend out his napper, as we like to say here, with personality. Brilliant actor. Big towering figure. Red Guardian. One of the standouts from Black Widow for me. Coming back. Suit looks as though it fits a bit better now. I don't think it's the same suit, to be fair. He's in there. And I'm delighted to see that. That's definitely something that's going to be different. And something that's got something going. It's something that this movie's got going for it. Yelena's back. Yelena Belova. I think that's her second name, incidentally. Look, Florence Pugh, brilliant actor as well. I just hope she tones down that fucking ridiculous Russian accent, because I just cannot listen to another. What was it she was saying? God, she kept saying it. God, what does she keep saying in Hawkeye? Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. I can't listen to that for an entire fucking movie. She was funny as hell in Black Widow. Loved her in it. One of the standouts in that movie. Nearly stole the show from Scarlett Johansson in her own fucking movie. Good to see she's getting to build on a character. Could potentially be the next Black Widow, although she's in an anti-heroic group. Obviously you've got James Buchanan, as I mentioned. It's interesting he's in there. Wouldn't really have put this guy with them. Thought he was turned more goody two shoes now. I think he's the White Wolf now. Never seen him being part of this group. I thought he was maybe above that. I'm not going to lie. This guy just is going to be the eternal side player, clearly. And it's a shame. He deserves so much more. He really does, Sebastian. But he's in there. That's something that's got going for it. One of my favourite characters in the MCU. John Walker's in there. Obviously Wyatt Russell, spoke about him. I think it was yesterday. Speaking about, no, maybe in a reaction we did. It was Willow. The character who played one of the prominent flag smashers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was in Willow. We spoke about him, who I just wanted to get more of John Walker. And I'm glad to see he's coming back in some form. And then at the end there, last but not least, Taskmaster. one of the more, frankly, underwhelming things about Black Widow for me. Thought the character would be cooler. A sort of thieving character who can take on the abilities and the traits of villains or foes that they meet, and also make them their own. Then it gets revealed that she's just this sort of abusive figure. Yeah, just she's in there. I don't know what to make of this, man. Sam Rockwell wants to be in there incidentally. He wants to come back. He's interested in Thunderbolts. He says, yeah, definitely the Thunderbolt. He doesn't even say the name right. This is what I'm talking about. It's a simple fucking name. The Thunderbolts. He can't even say it. He's in the industry. It's Thunderbolts. And he's calling it the Thunderbolt. We're fucked. If a guy who is in the industry can't even get the name down, how do you expect, like, fucking Joe Blogg and Jane Blogg out there, who get confused about Rogue One coming out after Force Awakens? How can you expect those people to know that this is a Marvel project and that they want that and actually entice them into a theatre to watch it? It's just not going to work. They have to do something about that name, and I think it's too fucking late. But he says he'd be into that. That sounds cool. That's what villains would be in that? Yeah, that's fun. Obviously, he played a villain in Iron Man 2. Something I'd forgot about. He's interested in coming into it. You know, you really can't get enough Rockwell. For me, you can never get enough Sam Rockwell. One of the funniest things in 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, was Sam Rockwell's captain, and I'm going to blank in the name, Dixon, Sergeant Dixon, whatever the fuck he was, finding out that the Woody Allen? Wasn't Woody Allen? Woody Harrelson. I think that's what his name is. Don't know why I'm blanking on his name. His character dies. He goes off the fucking edge, goes up, batters a shit out this lawyer, flings him out the fucking window, or billboard seller, and tosses him out the window. I was howling at that. I love dark humour. I love seeing people getting the shit kicked out of him. The fact he ends up in the hospital next to him later on, getting burnt, getting back to the scene of the crime pretty much, was fucking epic. So I love Sam Rockwell. He's a brilliant actor. I'd love to see him return to the MCU. You can't get enough great actors in this universe. As I say, you need more personality in there. And it is that kind of project by all accounts. Sort of morally ambiguous figures. And I was going to speak about Brendan Fraser talking about Batgirl getting cancelled, but you know what? I'm done with Batgirl. I just don't give a shit. It's not coming. It's never going to come. And I couldn't care less if I tried. The only thing that movie had, there was 2 things that movie had going for it. It was filmed in Glasgow, my very own city. It's a beautiful city. It's a bit dour and drab at times, usually overcast. And there's a sizeable Cretan population, but it's still a beautiful city, got incredible design, architecture, history steeped in it. Although sadly, for us, still named some of the streets after tobacco lords who were racist fucking slave owners, in a sense. They were part of that whole thing. The formative stages of the British Empire, and it's a bit disgraceful that we continue to cling on to those names. That should be dealt with. But yeah, it was filmed in Glasgow and Michael Keaton was in it. Apart from that, I don't really give a fuck. And Brendan was in it as well. Apparently he was playing a villain. Brendan was laughing about it in an interview. He doesn't care either, not really. I'm going to speak about this instead. Rings of Power. Now I've watched the first 2 episodes of Rings of Power, and unlike every other person on the planet who just can't wait to kick this TV show for some strange reason, got an absolute raging boner for this TV show, wanting it to fail. Well, we know why it is. It's because of this racist sort of backlash online against the black actors who were casting this. Unlike those people, and look, even people I respect having a pop at it, not really enjoying it, and look, that's fine, all art's subjective, and it is slow at the start. Although it's Lord of the Rings, these people purport to be Lord of the Rings fans and then cry about it being slow. Did you fucking read the books? I've read those books about 5 times. I've read every work of Tolkien's, and I think aside from The Children of Hurin, and maybe even The Hobbit, which is a kid's novel, quite short, they're fucking long reads. They are slow burn. This is a novelist and an author who would spend 5-6 pages detailing the inside of a hobbit hole and what they were eating for their fucking breakfast before he even gets to like the character having interactions with his world. Of course it's fucking slow. And that was in the third age, when things were kicking off. It was an exciting time. This TV show's set in the second age, when it's meant to be a relative time of peace. We're on a downward ebb in the story. What the fuck were they expecting? And it's a huge world with new characters, and they're establishing this world in these new characters, giving you something to connect onto. So when they go on a journey and things get a bit crazy and speed up, you've got that emotional connection. I don't know, is it fucking me? I genuinely don't get it. The moaning about it being slow. Stephen's watched the third episode, by all accounts much quicker and a step up. I've really enjoyed this TV show. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I've enjoyed the scale of the world. I think it's absolutely beautifully realised. Some of the drone shots have been fantastic. Some dodgy moments as well though, where it looks as though the volume's been used, that technology that Disney use. Also that can't be because it's Amazon. But there is some dodgy moments where they're walking, you're like, that ain't fucking real. But I have to say, I think Elrond, brilliant. Loved his interactions with Durin. Really enjoyed Galadriel. Don't care that she brought a snow troll down single-handedly. Again, these people claim to be Lord of the Rings fans, and they don't seem to realise that Galadriel is one of the most powerful elven figures in Middle-earth. Of course you can bring a fucking troll down single-handedly. What are you on, you fucking clowns? But yeah, look, anyway, they've been out, the actual cast, that aside, I've been enjoying it. Fucking really enjoying it. Can't wait to see the third episode. This guy here's fucking amazing, incidentally. Love this character. I love the look of him. He's just so cool. The very first moment I seen this guy come on the screen, he walks into a tavern and I'm like, this guy is just fucking dynamite. Just his get up, the sort of way he walks in and commands everyone's attention, not only in the actual scene but eyeballs watching. He's just a brilliant, interesting character from what I've seen so far anyway. I cannot wait to see where they go with this guy. And just hinting at a dark past within his actual origins. There was a little conversation. This guy's been out speaking. I don't even know what the fucking actor's name is. There you go. It may actually be Neil Gaiman who's been out speaking. But someone's been out speaking. Is this guy? Is it this person? I don't know. In the middle of this Nazanin Bonaide, I can't even see it, an Iranian actress who plays the human healer Bronwyn. Yeah, she's an interesting character too. Her son, a little bit of a dick, but that's probably the more intriguing storyline so far for me. She was speaking to Mashable and she had this to say. It's reflective not only about the diversity, it's reflective not only of the world we live in today, but of Tolkien's image of fellowship, of overcoming differences, of forming bonds with the other. And what better way to have that than to have a cast of people from diverse backgrounds? Look, I don't know if it's me, man. I don't know if I'm just backwards. Maybe I'm the one that's got it wrong. But I'm watching this TV show and it never even occurs to me to think about the colour of the person's skin that's playing a character. I just watch it. I'm engrossed in the world, interested in the characters they're starting off with. I don't give a fucking shit whether they're black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter to me. Lena Henry's in there, fucking institution over here, playing a sort of inquisitive hobbit. Doesn't strike me, doesn't even come into my head. I'm not thinking about it watching this TV show. Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to get real and get into the 21st century and really fixate on the important things that are happening in the TV show, like the colour of a person's skin. Maybe that's more important than what the writers are doing and what the story's doing and what the characters themselves are doing. Their actions, not the way they look. I don't know who this is. This may actually be the Namor character. I think it is Ismael Cruz Cordova. He's received vicious backlash since the moment he was cast. 2 years of bullshit this guy's been getting sent on the internet from backward, knuckle-dragging, cave-dwelling Neanderthals, troglodytes. He's been getting shit, mean comments nearly every day since 2020. It blows my fucking mind that we're in 2022, 21st century, and we're still putting up with this fucking nonsense. Get these people in the bin. This is what you had to say. We are here now, and there will no longer ever be a day in which people can say that elves don't look a certain way, or people in Middle Earth don't look a certain way. That chapter is sealed and closed. It is. And I'm fucking glad it is. The door is opened. And look, the world is all the more enriched for it. We shouldn't ever be caring about the colour of a fucking actor's skin. The character they're playing, it does not matter. Least of all, in a universe where the writer, the creator himself, was preaching about fellowship, about connecting with those who are different. It blows my mind. It really does. This accent is Glaswegian. Ahmed. It's Glaswegian. It's Scottish. West of Scotland. It's technically English I'm speaking, but there's a bit of Scots accent in there. If I was to actually start speaking the way I normally speak, using words like dinny and dreek and gonny, words like that, you wouldn't understand a fucking word I was saying. You probably don't understand me just now, but you really wouldn't understand me if I started speaking. It's like, it is another language. Scots is an actual language connected to the Germanic English of many, many years ago. Because the Lowland Scots, contrary to what some think, are mongrels. We're not this Celtic pure nation that some people seem to think. That's bollocks as well. This is another thing, getting into Rings of Power. But Tolkien created a world inspired by Northwest European culture. It's all about white blonde people. There is no such fucking thing as Northwest European culture. We are fucking mongrels made up of 50 million different people from different places. I looked into my ancestry, man. I have got fucking South Indian in there, Swedish, Dutch, German, Danish, English, Irish, the full fucking shebang is in there, man. I'm white and pale. It doesn't fucking matter. It's bullshit. But anyway, I'm Scottish. Needless to say. But look, man, yeah, going to round it up. I'm going to continue to enjoy the Lord of the Rings of Power. I'm absolutely certain of it. I'm enjoying the slow burn nature. I'm someone who likes to sit and marinate in a world, in a story, connect with characters, and then when we get to the sort of vinegar strokes, I like to call it, we get to the moments where there's excitement and where there's stuff happening, and you've connected, you've been enriched in the world, you've bonded with these characters. It gives you stakes, man. This is an 8-episode, I believe, 5-season story. We are essentially, I think it's 8 episodes, I may be wrong, we're essentially getting a fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy in the first season alone. You've got to give them time, man, to tell a story. Come on, to fuck. But just so tragic, man, to see that these people are having to come out in this day and age and actually speak about it. Speak about diversity. Have to justify why there's fucking people getting cast as characters in a fictional universe. I don't know. But anyway, man, that's going to round it up. What's your thoughts on Ant-Man 3? Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? Do you believe this could be the game-changing moment for the MCU moving forward? Phase 5 and beyond. Because this is an MCU that's currently in danger of stagnating. That's not got the ingenious interconnectivity that it once had in Phase 1, 2 and 3. The Infinity Saga. It's lost its way a bit. People are not as invested, I'm living proof of it, as they once were. Does it need a spark of life? Could it be Ant-Man 3 that gives us it? Scott Lang, MODOK, Kang the Conqueror, the confirmed multi-story, multi-film villain of this saga, is going to appear in this movie for the first time. Do you agree with me that this could be the game changer for this universe, both in the worlds, within the actual movies, and outside the real world? Change the sort of the outlook. What's your thoughts as well on Brian Coogler potentially coming in to direct the next, or perhaps the fucking next Avengers movie? What's your thoughts on it, man? You can comment down below about that if you get him to say. I'd personally love to see Ryan Coogler directing an Avengers movie. I think he's a fucking brilliant man, a brilliant director. What do you make? Can you tell I'm looking to the right about Thunderbolts? Are you intrigued by that ragtag group of anti-heroes? What is fucking Bucky Barnes doing in there? I don't know. Share your thoughts about that. Share your thoughts about Rings of Power. Look, if you're not enjoying it, that's absolutely fine. It's all subjective. But for fuck's sake, don't be a racist. That's the most important thing that's come out of this show tonight. Don't be so backward to actually judge people on the colour of their skin in 2022. Grow the fuck up. gain some wisdom. Share your thoughts down below about that. I'll read this before I end. Not sure, man, MCU's dropping the ball lately. It is dropping the ball, it really is. When I am missing 2 MCU movies in a theatre, I'm waiting until they go on a streaming service to watch them. And it's a Taika Waititi movie, a guy I fucking love. You can't get any more proof than that. I've got a fucking shield behind me, I've got a Mjolnir there. I am the target demographic for these movies. I missed 2 Marvel movies in the theatres. They have to fucking wake up. They have to give it a spark, man. Please make it Ant-Man. If not, make it Black Panther. I don't care what they make it, but we have to get a spark. Get this fucking universe moving again. I don't know if they can do it, man. I don't know if this universe can survive without Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. I just don't know if it can be done. But well, that's going to round it up. What is your thoughts? You can comment down below if you get anything to say. Down below in the comment section is the place to put it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon on YouTube to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Hit the same fucking sort of concept over in Twitch. Follow button, notifications over there. It sees over there live. Regardless of what you do though, thank you once again for watching me. And until the next time I am done, I'll be back tomorrow maybe with Stephen. I think we're doing a live show tomorrow. Bye bye. I can never do these endings. Never do the endings. Some might say I can't do any of it. And who am I to disagree? Thank you for the comments. Parv, Ahmed. Bye bye. You know what, Ahmed? It's Rings of Power, but I actually prefer Rings of Fire. I like the sound of Rings of Fire. Get a bit of Johnny Cash in there, man. Get that fucking mixed with a bit of Lord of the Rings. It all comes from fire anyway, doesn't it? It comes from the molten smelting pot of Dolgul. No, I can't remember what it was called, doesn't matter. Bye bye. Khazad-dûm. No, I can't remember. Bye bye.